Hey everybody, it's your girl Susan. I am back and I am ready to get started with another balloon setup for you. So welcome to Studio SG, where every single design I decree and declare is excellent, elevated, and exciting, y'all. Okay, and today I'm excited to bring to you a new balloon opportunity, and so I am ready to share that with you, but not before I ask you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because you know that this channel has been working for you and it's been a blessing to you, and I want you to go ahead and bless me right back. Bless me by hitting that subscribe button. Bless me by hitting that bell so that every time I go live like this, you get notified and you get benefited and you too get blessed by everything that's being shared here. Bless me by going ahead and liking this video already, even before you see the content, because you know it's going to be good and you know it's going to be helpful. Thank you again for taking the time, those of you who have already subscribed, to tune in again. For those of you who are new subscribers, thank you for trusting me with content. And I hope that everything that I share with you guys is of some benefit to you in some way. I'm not going to belabor the point. Here we go. All right, so today I am going to do a balloon kit by Amazon. And I know that in our industry, balloon kits are frowned upon, y'all, but there are some kits that are kicking it. And I think that this is one of those kits. Now, I think I've shown you guys maybe one or two kits before. If you go back to a previous video, you'll see that black and white square balloon checkered backdrop setup. Well, the garland that went with that was a balloon kit from Temu. So go back and revisit that video just to check out what a balloon kit could really look like. I have always found that in using these kits, there is some measure of insufficiency, meaning it's never enough, right? We never have enough balloons in the kit. We never have enough of that look or that sparkle that we see advertised as they're trying to sell these kits to us. But I think I might actually have found a kit that may satisfy every one of those boxes. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to tell you. This is a kit from Amazon, and it's a Boba kit. And by Boba, I mean, you know that drink? Those Boba drinks with the big old balls at the bottom of them, different flavors, different colors, different looks. They're all exciting, really pretty, and all that other good stuff, and downright delicious, y'all. If you've never had one, I advise you, I encourage you to go ahead and try one. They have boba teas, they have boba fruit drinks, and all kinds of boba stuff. It's just boba crazy. but I am so excited to say that I'm gonna try one of these kits today, and this is a fun one. My kids love boba, specifically my daughters. So I am going to put this together, and hopefully with their approval and yours, we can go ahead and make a real success out of this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add the link to this kit in the description box below so that you too can try it if you'd like. All right, thank you again for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, so just watch me work. everyone. I hope you're doing okay and hanging in there with me as I work. I've got a 260 balloon in my hand. I'm stretching it out all the way for maximum stretch and use. I'm getting ready to assemble my my garland for this whole Boba presentation. And what I realized after I blew up and set my clusters together is that I failed to taper off some of my white balloons. And what I mean by that is, so I did clusters of 8, okay, for pretty much for some of my colors, and then clusters of 6. What I should have done was also create smaller clusters that go on the top of the 3 and the 8 clusters. That way it goes from small to large to larger, okay? So what I did was I separated out my one of my 8 clusters and just made it 4 so that I could just make that nice tapered look on top. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start with my cluster of 4, or my quad, if you will. We normally call clusters of 4 quads because they are comprised of 4 balloons. Okay, anything above 4 is then considered a full-on cluster. All right, so I've got that done. I love working with 260s. Oh my gosh, the last mock-up that I did for you guys was with the glass balloons. Oh, that was the devil. Oh my God, having to work with and I'm doing a figure 8. So what I'll do is I'll probably add a dupe on top of white, just white, so that, or maybe even just do that. Maybe that's too much of a taper. Okay, might be. I'm not sure. I might add a dupe here and then add this this cluster of my 5-inch on top. Okay, just so that it goes from small and it builds out as we move down the whole Boba garland. Okay, so I've got that going on, and now I have a cluster of, I want to say this is 8. Okay, this is either 8 or 10, and I think this is a 10 cluster, but it's larger than this. And as you can see, it just builds. It's just going to build as we go, as we move further down the garland. Okay, so I am wrapping it around a few times. I'm going to do is just continue to build my garland, and it'll just get increasingly larger as I go. And I'll fatten it up as we make our way down and things like that. So don't worry about it. It's going to all come together, okay? But I'm starting with the white, and I'm doing that whole monochromatic ombre scheme. So we're going to start with white. We're going to continue with whatever color this is considered. This is almost looks like a white sand type of color, but maybe a little bit darker. And then we have the chocolate, then we have the caramel. Okay, I'm calling this caramel, but Rubfac has a color that is almost, I would dare say it's identical to this, and I think it's called, what is it called? I'll try to find out for you, and I'll be sure to put that in the description as well, okay? But yeah, this will be the next color, the third color in succession. And then finally, we will have our chocolate browns at the bottom, okay? And then the little black boba seeds that go with everything will accent. So, all right, I'm just gonna keep working. Thanks for watching. take a 260 and I am going to, yes, stretch it out, but also pin it to my canvas wall in the back of this tiara backdrop so that I can actually attach the end portion, the top portion of the garland to it, so sort of make it go off script a little bit, off the grid, okay? And you'll see what I mean, because it's supposed to look like we're starting at the top with the whipped cream and then we're making our way down. And so that's the look I'm going for. Now, that's, like I said, that's the look I'm going for. Let's see what happens. You know, whenever I do these things, I just kind of, I see it in my head, but I play it by ear. So keep watching me work, y'all. I have that pinned to the back of the canvas behind my tiara backdrop. So just take a look at that. All right, it goes all the way up. All right, sort of angles upward, and here is what it looks like on the ground right now. I am going to fill out the bottom with more of the chocolate brown clusters. And like I said, I don't have a whole lot of real estate with that, but let's see if we can actually make it look like a true boba drink. All right, just keep watching me work here. I'm gonna put this one here at the bottom. All right, let me show you what I just did. Okay, I added those chocolate brown clusters to the bottom. I wish I had more. I don't. So let's see how this works out, because the goal would be then to fill in that gap right there by the larger peach colored balloon with more chocolate browns, but I don't have any more. So let's just see how this pans out. You know what? I have a thought. I don't know how weird it would look, but what if I inserted, it'd probably look weird, but I'm thinking, what if I inserted black, you know, into the bottom maybe, and see if that's a color scheme that I could pull in, right? With some black. Hello, I'm having an idea. All right, y'all, just keep watching me work. All right, guys, I had a brainstorm because I ran out of chocolate browns, but I need to somehow pull in some other pieces to fatten up the bottom. So I decided to let's just go with some black. Now, black is in this color scheme because I do have the individual boba balls, or bobas, represented by these tiny 5-inch balloons that are supposed to be spread sporadically throughout the garland. But I figured, well, why not introduce some more black in some bigger pieces? That way we can fill out the bottom and it doesn't look like confusion, and black does belong. So let's see how well this works, y'all. This is what the bottom looks like right now, where the brown is. I'm gonna just kind of fill in those gaps beneath there with some of these dupes. Let's see if that works. And again, I'm using trusty rubber bands. Now I'm gonna use glue dots to attach the little bobas. Oh Lord, let's see what this looks like. All right, everyone, I'm back and I am using glue dots to attach these boba balls into our garland, okay? Just to kind of make it look like the actual little bobas that we do have at the bottom of our drinks. Y'all praying with me? Because I really want this to look like something when it's all done. So let's see. right, guys, we are almost there. This is the last of it. I've got the Mylar balloons, the finishing touch, right? The icing on top of the cake, however you want to put it. It's that piece of jewelry that you add to every installation that requires it, that just really takes it over the top and seals the deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and just blow up those 2 balloons, and that'll be that. I did an entire video tutorial on how to blow up Mylars. It was the video tutorial about blowing up square balloons. You can actually watch that video for instructions on how to blow up a Mylar balloon properly and safely. Everyone, I am absolutely done, and this is the finished product. I hope you like it as much as I do, because I think it turned out absolutely fantastic. I love this kit. I think it works. Not only is it fun, but it has a lot of moving parts, which is really, really cool. So let's talk about those moving parts, right? We have the white balloons. We've got what is comparable to a white sand. They never tell you the colors that come in these kits. We have here a nude color, and I'm assigning the color nude to it because I actually have some Rubfac balloons that are the color nude, and I put them into this cluster that you see here. Seamless. They are identical in color. Also included in that kit are the chocolate browns that you see peppered throughout the bottom. And then we have these little Bobo balls, or representatives thereof, these little tiny 5-inch balloons that were also kind of inserted into the whole design. So those are all the balloons that came in this kit. The balloons that I added to make up for some of the deficiencies were these big black ones here at the bottom. I'll show you that in a little bit, but I've got some 18s, some 12s, some 10s here as well. I also added in these rose gold balloons. Why? Because something about this just screamed rose gold. So I just said, I think it would look really great with the rose gold included, but I also have pictures with the rose gold not included. So I will show you both, and then I guess you can tell me what your thoughts are. But I think it really works. It adds that little accent. I also threw in some bubble balloons, as you see here. There are 5 of them, different sizes. And they just sort of really add to the look of a garland that is featuring a beverage, right, as the theme. So it just completes the look. I did not want to leave the entire one side of this tiara backdrop stand just naked and stark. So I added in a few explosion balloons here on the side. They don't seem to want to cooperate right now, but for picture purposes, they were, in place and intact. So anyway, just, I think, super cute. You let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna lean the camera in so that you can see everything. The height, the depth, the breadth, the length of it all. But here we start with the height, okay? My wall is 9 feet high, my ceilings rather, and so that's how tall this garland is, okay? And it's not fully stretched out. I'm almost sure it's about 12 feet. In total length, but here we are, okay? And back up again and back to the center. So let me just say a few things, all right? I had a ball doing this. I did this as an homage to my daughters, who absolutely love Boba. They are grown women, but they love Boba. And so this was sort of like a tribute to them and their admiration and absolute affection for this beverage. But it is delicious. So I encourage you to try some if you have not already done so. Listen, I'm so excited just to be able to bring you content like this. So thank you so much for choosing to watch Studio SG, where every design is excellent, elevated, and exceptionally fun or exciting. Thank you all so much for taking the time to tune in. Those of you who are new viewers, Thank you for subscribing. Those of you who are, been subscribed to me for just a little bit, thank you so much for staying with me and continuing to support this effort. Hit that bell if you have not already done so that every time I go live like this, you are notified. Please, please, please hit that like button if you liked anything about this design or this content. I appreciate you. And listen, I want you to know that you are the absolute best supporters ever. Have an amazing week. Be blessed, and I will see y'all next time.